If you want to make some money out of your automata, there's 4 things that you've got to look after. You need a channel, a sales channel. You need a source of information so people can learn about what it is you're offering. Really helps to have some form of promotion, and of course you need to have a price. Let's start with the toughest one. Let's start with the price. And it depends who you are, what you charge really, what you're trying to achieve. Maybe you're just producing lots of stuff, you like making it, and it's beginning to pile up in the house. In that case, every cent, pound or dollar that you get for it is a bonus really. So there almost is no bottom price, because you need to get rid of the stuff you don't want, so you've got more room for stuff that you're still making. So I suppose that's the most extreme example. Or maybe you're trying to make a living out of it, and I must admit I have great respect for anybody who can make a living out of making automata. And probably if you are making a living, you're not watching this video, are you? More likely you're in between. You're making automata, you're getting quite good at it. And you want to sell some to get a bit of money, maybe to buy more machinery, maybe as a contribution towards your income. And also it's very gratifying if people sell them. And so how do you set the price in that situation? There's 1 or 2 things that you've really got to nail down. First of all is, how much is it actually costing you to make the things that you're making? What are the basic costs of wood, etc., tools? And secondly, how much do you want to earn out of it? What sort of hourly rate do you want to choose? And consider not just this one you've made, but how much would you want to get paid for making another, and then another, and then another, without getting resentful of how much work it is for how little you're getting for it. And then once you've got those 2 basics nailed down, you've got to consider then about whether you want to make a bit more money, make a bit of profit on top of that to pay for new machinery, for instance. And you don't have to get it right straight away. We'll talk about the sales channel in a moment, but you can offer at a price, and if it doesn't sell, you can always bring the price down. Because there's 2 people involved in any sale. There's the seller and there's the buyer. And the buyer probably, maybe it's an automata collector who has a good idea of the value of what they're willing to put on these things. More likely it's somebody who's a casual buyer, somebody who's spotted something they like and wants to buy it. And they most likely have a price in mind of what they want to pay. And for that reason, it's a good idea to have a range of automata, a range of crafts at different price levels. So if people like what you're making, they're not put off by the fact that they can't afford it. They can find something within their price range that they can afford. And it's most likely that the price you start selling at is actually lower than the price you could probably have asked. You're probably going to be underselling yourself, because at the end of the day, very few people are going to be paying more than they think something's worth. And as you're putting it up for sale, the likely is you've actually underpriced it, and so people are buying it. It's also a bit of a numbers game as well. I mean, if say 1,000 people view your item, of those maybe 100 like it, but maybe only 10 have a reason and the money to buy it. And so then you've got to decide, okay, that's good enough. And if you want to get more sales, the trick is to increase that 1,000 people to 10,000 people, and that's where promotion comes in, of course. Or you could decide that 10 out of 1,000 and you're seeing thousands, you're actually selling too many, and then putting the price that will be reduced that to only 5 or 3 out of 1,000. But the fact that you've priced it differently, you might be better off doing that than selling it more cheaply. I mean, a lot of people are buying these things for presents, for other people, gifts. Whatever you sell, it really needs to be worth more than, needs to look as though it's worth more than the people have paid for it. You don't want somebody paying, nobody wants to pay a fortune for something, give it to somebody else and they think it didn't cost anything at all. So you've got to, it's got to have visible value, if you like. You've got plenty of flexibility until you make a sale. You can alter the price, not too quickly, I would suggest, but maybe, of course, these things don't always sell so quickly. But once you've made a sale, I think there's the potential for putting the price up. Probably if you just made one, you hold the price the same. But if you were selling quite a few, you might consider putting the price up a little. What you should never really do is, after you've made a sale, put the price down, because that sale has sort of set a level. And I don't think it's fair on the people who are buying it if you're then selling the thing later for less money. Let's talk about the easiest way to get into selling into a channel. And what I suggest is Etsy. There's pros and cons of Etsy, but what it is it has a very easy entry level. I mean, it costs you 20 US cents for 3 months to put each item on. They charge you a few percent if you make a sale, but then at least you've made a sale, haven't you? And you can, I think it's 10 or 12 pictures you can put of your article, so there's no risk really. Well, 20 cents per unit. It helps though if you've got several different items to put on Etsy, because the more items you've got, the more chance you've got of people buying you, because there's just thousands of people on there selling very cheap things sometimes. You've got an advantage with your Automata, because there aren't that many people selling them and people do search for them, so you will get found. And the nice thing about Etsy is, even if you're not making any sales, you do get people favoriting your item, and also you can see how many people are coming into your shop, so you can gauge the popularity of it, if you like. But Etsy alone is not really enough. These things, people want to see the quality, people want to see how you've made them, people want to see them working. And when I started, I had a website. It's an expensive thing to do though, and a lot of work. Nowadays, I think I would just start with a YouTube channel. I think I actually started at the same time as the website with the YouTube, because I used YouTube to put the videos on, which then I embedded on the website. But YouTube's so popular now that you might as well just use that. Okay, you may not become a super mega channel, but it doesn't really matter, because you're using it for a different reason. You're actually sending people to YouTube to look at individual videos, just so they can get the proof that something is worth having, and then you can feed them into Etsy to make a purchase. The other area, and we're talking more now on promoting it, YouTube's okay, but people are not often going to search and find you really, certainly not the casual buyer, and that's where I think Pinterest is quite interesting. I use Pinterest because the advantage of Pinterest, your pictures stay there and your videos stay there all the time. They don't just disappear like on some of the other channels. And people do browse through it, and they'll come across you just accidentally. And so you can use Pinterest to either feed them into your YouTube channel or straight into Etsy as a promotion. And again, it's free of charge. So no risk. There's no risk anywhere along the line really, so there's no real excuse for not getting going, is there, with it? So my advice is get out there, give it a go. You've got really nothing to lose. Good luck with it. Bye bye.